Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for attending this. This is going to be so cool. I think because I don't know, like being more exclusive, like more private, I expect more, I don't know, daring questions, like to be able to go into stuff that I wouldn't necessarily share publicly, although I can share even these things publicly, but yeah, it's more intimate, it's different. um Thank you so much for all your birthday wishes. You are wonderful. And Yeah, actually, you know what, I was even thinking, like, wow, like I would love, for example, to celebrate my birthday, like if I was in the US, for example, to throw a party, and to invite all the fans. That would be like the coolest thing possible. Or even in the UK, because I have a lot of fans in the UK. But yeah, in Romania or in Turkey, where I am right now with my wife, yeah, that's I think that wouldn't be such a crowded party. But hopefully one day, like like my dream is kind of to move to the US and I don't know, have a career in Hollywood or something like that. And if that happens, I definitely want to do this, like throw a real life party and literally invite all the fans and stuff like that. Yeah, it would be so cool. Thank you so much for your birthday wishes. I see they're still coming. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Do you have any crazy questions for me? Because if you don't, yeah. Why do you think your movie doesn't resonate as much in your home country? Yeah, good question. Well, let's see. I think there are multiple reasons. I don't think we have such an indie horror culture in Romania. I think most horror fans they mostly watch mainstream horror movies, probably in at the mall theater. Sorry, just a second. I just realized that instead of live chat, I have selected here top chat. I did the same mistake last time, and I missed some of your questions when I was doing the public Q&A. Yeah, now I did the live chat, so now I'll be able to see everything. Okay, cool. Yeah, so one of the reasons I would say is this, like people are not used to watching indie horror. They are mainly watch mainstream horror movies, blockbusters, Hollywood blockbusters, and another reason would be that another reason would be that the movie wasn't pirated yet in Romania. Like, for example, in Russia, the movie was pirated and it was dubbed in Russian. And it's available on a ton of sites in Russia, because otherwise most Russians wouldn't be able to watch it, if it wasn't dubbed in Russian and pirated and all that. And I think in Romania it might be the same case, although like a third of Romanians, they do understand English. I think there's still a big percentage of people that do not speak or do not understand English very well, and unless the movie is officially released, with Romanian subtitles, would be very hard for them to understand anything out of it. So since it wasn't pirated yet and nobody did pirated Romanian subtitles, it's not that much accessible to most Romanians. What plans do you have for your career? Hollywood. It's such a simple question. The hope, plans and hopes, yeah, and dreams. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thanks, Fred. Nice to see you here as well. Nice to see everybody. Actually, wow, so many of you. I can recognize you, but I'm not going to go now into mentioning all your names, because then we would be like again going to 2 hours and a half and whatever. I'm trying to keep this like live stream at most 2 hours. Keep it more compact and ideally 1 hour. Ideally 1 hour of essential info. Do you have a plans to shoot a black and white movie? No, actually not. I never thought of it like to shoot a black and white movie. And I don't think I'm a person who is into these types of arts, into this type of artsiness, visual like artsiness, like shooting something black and white. Yeah. Don't think that's my thing. As a huge Farrer fan, which I assume likewise, do you have any films that attribute to your inspiration for Be My Cat? Yeah, there are a lot of films. For example, actually, you can actually go, if you go to, but I don't know how to say that. I have a list of movies that you know what? If you go to my Letterboxd user account, I have there a list of top films that impressed and influenced. Top films that influenced Be My Cat the most. I also have movies that in general influenced me, but I also have a shorter list of films that influenced Be My Cat. And just to name a couple of them, obviously the Blair Witch Project, not in terms of story, but obviously in terms of the found footage concept and how to work with actors and improvisation and all this stuff. There was Exhibit A, an indie found footage film. And in terms of character and story and stuff like that and themes, I would say Peeping Tom, Taxi Driver, Psycho, Carrie in terms of the paradoxical character, this character that is kind of, he feels like shiny and smiling and vulnerable at the same time doing horrible things. So these are just a couple of them, just to name a few. If you go to that list, I have about 25 there. What upcoming projects? What upcoming projects are you most excited about? And do you have any influences from horror literature? Wow, unfortunately not. I haven't read a lot of horror literature. Yeah. Mostly movies. I'm mostly a movie person. I'm not so much into reading, actually. What upcoming projects are you most excited about? Well, I can tell you this. There are 2 upcoming projects that I'm most excited about. One is indie, and it's called We Put the World to Sleep, a movie probably some of you already know about, because I talked a lot about it, and it's going to be I don't know, really crazy. I literally pushed some limits, and both in terms of content and in terms of improvisation, I literally went crazy with it. I took lots of creative risks, and it even has a scene which is like, yeah, it is something. You will see. This is something that I'm super excited about. I'm so curious what your reactions will be to this one. And the other one that I'm super, super excited about, it's a project that came to me as a result of Be My Cat. Like literally a filmmaker and producer literally wrote to me like, hey, I loved Be My Cat. I love how I think he even loved this thing. I think he loved also the fact that I interact with fans and all that, and said, oh, would you like to work on this project that I have? Would you like to be a part of it? I was like, of course. And it's like, literally, it's such a big thing. If that thing happens, like I all my fingers crossed that project will happen. Currently it's being how do you say, presented. It's being presented to the studios and stuff like that. And if everything goes well and I end up actually doing that one, the way it is, the way we are hoping and dreaming and planning it to be made, that's going to be huge. That's going to, like, literally, it's going to be like a dream come true for me, that project. Because, you know, like, my dream is to make studio movies, you know. I want to struggle all my life, you know, just making indie films and constantly struggle financially and all these things. Like, I really hope at some point to have a studio film, you know, and the big team and all this stuff, this big support. And this project that I was telling you about, this is a huge opportunity for that. Yeah, as I said, all possible fingers crossed, even toes crossed. Yeah. Most of them know English, but they can't speak the okay, live chat. Ooh, okay. Most of them know English, but they can't speak the language in any form of conversation. Yes, they do understand, but that's why I didn't even put this as a first reason. That would be like kind of a secondary reason why the movie is not known in Romania. The fact that it doesn't have Romanian subtitles. I mean, it doesn't have a Romanian distributor. Actually, that's the problem. The movie has only one distributor. It's in the US, and they release it on a lot of international platforms like YouTube. Okay, but it's not released locally, for example. With the exception of France, France is the only country where it was released locally with French subtitles by a kind of a sub-distributor that took it from them. But in Romania, there's no such thing. So I think that's one of the reasons as well why it's not so much known. But as I said, mainly we don't have such an indie horror culture in Romania. What works inspired, influenced your use of improvisation and do-it-yourself approach? Dogma 95. Dogma 95 movement, Festen, or The Celebration, directed by Thomas Vinterberg. It's a movie from 1990, how much? 1990 something. That one and the Blair Witch Project, definitely. And when it's about the realism, both of them. When it's about improvisation and the way you work with actor, with improv, the movie that influenced me, and actually not the movie, the way they worked on the Blair Witch Project, you know, that influenced me a lot. What challenges did you face on with your latest movie by using mostly improvisation and not a script? Wow, good question. Damn, that was crazy. Here's what happened. So, Be My was kind of like 50% improvised, 50% planned or scripted. I had some plot points and I had to follow those plot points. And I also have a bigger, although it was not written on paper for Be My Cat, I had a much bigger structure in my mind, you know, because of all these months or even years of working on that role and preparing myself. I kind of ended up in a way having a script in my mind. So, sorry. But before we put the world to sleep, I really thought, hey, like, I really want to push things further this time. So I went with like only 25% planned, like scripted stuff, and mostly, like most of it, 75% improvisation. Like, if in Be My Cat I didn't know the details, I knew in general the plot points. And the discovery, the improvisation was about the details and about the dialogue. In We Put the World to Sleep, I said, okay, what if I push things even further and I start shooting this film even without having all the plot points ready? Like, literally throw ourselves into this journey, throw ourselves in characters and start living in character, living into this fictional world within the movie, and see where it takes us. Literally, I thought I need to do it. I need to do it, because if I don't do it now, later in my career, I won't be able to do it, you know, because that's a huge risk, you know, like a studio. I don't think a studio would risk this way, like to give me, I don't know, like $1 million to do something like this. So the best way is to do it with a smaller budget, you know, indie way. So I really wanted to do this crazy stuff. So here's what happened. Because you asked what challenges do you encounter. I'm gonna try to tell you, but without giving too much, without giving you spoilers at the same time. So I won't be able to say everything, just kind of. So we started improvising, shooting. The plan was to go from location to location. The subject is these guys who kind of make a movie about ending the world, and then they become lost in their characters, and then they decide to end the world for real, and to use the movie's budget to end the world for real. And there is this journey that they go through to achieve this goal. And we were going through that journey, recording all our steps, till one point when we realized that, although everything was good, our characters were okay. We were going in an okay direction, like in terms of realism, in terms of narrative progression, everything was okay. No mistake. I don't think anybody did a kind of a mistake, I would say. But literally, the way things progressed at some point, they progressed in a way that they were no longer in touch with the found footage concept. Like literally at some point, I didn't feel the need to record anymore. Both psychologically and in character and in terms of narrative, multiple stuff. And if I continued to record, that wouldn't be real. Because the way things progressed, they did not support that anymore. And I was like, okay, what the F am I going to do now? Because it's not like in Be My Cat. It's not because I was like far away from ending the film. It's not like, oh, I can do in Be My Cat. Oh, and I don't feel recording anymore. I'm throwing the camera. I'm coming to you. We're going to be together, have kids. It didn't work this way. More stuff had to happen in order to have a movie in the end. I cannot tell you exactly how I solved this. But kind of we took a break, and then this coincided with other issues that happened in our life. We were scammed by a producer, not related to We Put the World to Sleep. We were scammed by somebody who, me and Duru, my wife, she's like, we are both partners, both professional partners. She's an actress as well, and also she sings, and she also has this writing talent for script writing. So we're like this couple that both creative and in real life couple. We on top of working on We Put the World to Sleep. I just want to make sure, like, I hope you are, because I see the image is a little bit like for me a little bit weird. Do you see me well, or do you hear me well, or with interruptions? I just, like, any of you, if you can just confirm if you, because I've seen some, okay, good. Thank you so much. Sorry, because I saw my image was like a little bit like freezing, and I was thinking like something happened. Okay, okay, thanks, great. Okay, good. I'm going back to what I was saying. Yeah, so here's the thing. So yeah, it kind of me encountering that obstacle, that weird creative obstacle when We Put the World to Sleep, kind of coincided with some other problems that we encountered, both financial and personal, which were as a result of us being scammed by a film producer. We had another film project which we worked for 2 years, and that guy even promised us a lot of stuff for We Put the World to Sleep. He said, oh, don't do it indie style. I'm going to help you to do it different. And we were scammed. And then those 2 years of work went to nothing, literally. And that really shook us. So we took a break from shooting, and then we returned to shooting. It was a complicated process. And I think I even, because this has been going on for such a long time, We Put the World to Sleep. So like, I'm just realizing like, hey, I think I even told you something wrong about how things happen. I think first we got scammed, then we shot something, and then we stopped. It's a Okay, let's return to we put the world to sleep. um, so the idea that let's make a huge jump in time. Let's go away from that messy, crazy period from 2 years ago. Let's come back to kind of like 2 months ago. 2 months ago, I realized that the footage that I have, both the one that I initially recorded and something that I recorded a little bit more afterwards, and all this stuff, both what I realized the footage I had is actually not enough to. I'm not happy with it, to make like a full film with it. And when I realized that also coincided with me having a great idea for making a short film called Source of Evil. I was super enthusiastic about that idea. But while I was developing the idea for that short film, I realized, hey, the story, the narrative goes so well with We Put the World to Sleep. So instead of releasing the short film separately, what about including it in We Put the World to Sleep? And it worked so well. So I shot those moments, and it's complicated. I'm not going to give you details because then I will spoil stuff from you. There are a lot of meta layers and stuff like that. And I think while shooting these extra scenes last month in June, I think that's when I had like the best, I would say, the best acting moments, both me and Duru as well. Both best acting moments, and also in terms of production design, like super creepy, super weird and powerful. In terms of acting, everything, like I'm really proud of what we did now in the last, like literally, I think what we shot now is better than the main movie that we were supposed to finish like 2 years ago. Those main scenes. So I think these scenes that we shot a month ago will be like the main juice of this film, to be honest. So it's not like those scenes are bad, but it's I cannot say without spoiling stuff, but you will understand when you will watch the film. And anyway, if you watch the film and you feel a little bit bored in the first half, wait for it. Wait for the fucking second half, because that is not going to bore you. I promise you. But hopefully I will be able to edit it in a way in order to also not make the first half boring. I have to. There's no such way as boring people. I'm just saying, just in case. Just in case. Yeah. So, guys, you asked what were the obstacles with improvisation. So, so while I was shooting these extra footage last month, at some point when I was about to reach the peak of it, that was supposed to be the best part in it, the most intense part in it, like the cherry on top of the cherry, was supposed to be. Again, the same thing happened. Things progressed in a certain way that I felt like I didn't feel like recording anymore. Like, again, things weren't in touch anymore with the found footage concept. So as you can see, my dear friends and followers and fans, and like, improvisation is crazy. Like, I don't think I'm doing it to this extent ever again. I mean, this is fucking crazy. Like, now I realized again, I had to develop a different side of my character. I had to invent a new thing for the movie, and I need to shoot even extra scenes to the fucking extra scenes, which is good for you. Because you're going to have lots of crazy stuff in this film, but Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Like going like like controlled improvisation the way I did in Be My Cat is good. It's wonderful. Full free improvisation where you totally discover everything as you go by, and you just have just a basic idea, and just that's crazy. Like, you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, if We Put the World to Sleep proves to be a huge success, maybe there is a chance that I will do it again. Oh, fuck it. No, I'm not doing it again. No. Even if this proves to be a big success, I'm not doing it again. I want more security a little bit next time. This is crazy. Let's go back to the questions. Maybe my cat. Woof, 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 woof. I talked too much about this. We're approaching half an hour. What challenges? What are your thoughts on censorship? Why are my thoughts on censorship? Well, now it depends. I don't know what you mean by censorship. Like, I think it depends. I think it depends from case to case. In general, I am not pro censorship. You know, in general, I am for freedom of speech. Like, I really think you should be able to allow to say the most horrible things to, I don't know, to politicians or whatever. But of course, I mean, I don't know if you go and say, to say like, I don't know, all Jews must be killed, or I don't know, or stuff like this, like extremely hateful stuff that I don't know that, and then you need to do some censorship. But I'm not an expert on that. I don't know how do you do that? How do you censor really, really bad stuff that can really harm people? Innocent people? How do you censor that without the risk of cutting free speech in a different area? You know, I'm not an expert in these things, so mainly I'm not for censorship. At the same time, I am aware that some things have to be kept, have to be put a stop to. But how do you put a stop to those one without putting a stop to free speech? It's complicated. I don't know. I'm gonna leave this thing to I don't know, to people that are experts on this stuff. That are no better than me. Did you ever start to lose yourself in the character you played in Be My Cat? No, I actually didn't. On the contrary, in the scene with Flory in the basement. I think I even became at some point self-aware. Like, I became like when I forgot. I was singing something, you know, going in the basement and singing while she was like screaming in agony, in pain. And that moment felt so real. And I think for a moment I became self-aware and I judged myself. I even felt disgusted of myself. Like, oh my God, how can I have pleasure from something like this? You know, because me in character was supposed to be, I don't know, to be like, everything is nice, everything is good. So yeah, I don't think I really lost. I really myself in it. Now it depends what you mean by lost. If you by lost you mean like fully being in character in the moment, that yes happened. But I did not become lost to a point of, let's say, after I finished the film, oh my God, my character still manifests. You know, not in that sense. You know, because that wouldn't be acting. That would be like already like that would be like something that would be mental. You know, that would be like a psychiatrical case. I would have to go check myself. I notice you only like movies on Letterboxd instead of rate them. Any reason? I think that was a case a long time ago. If you will look now on my Letterboxd, I think I also put some rating, but I'm not sure. I think I always was in between. Sometimes I put ratings to them and then I change my mind and then I put to some of them, not all of them, just to my favorite movies. I put ratings and then I changed my mind, I deleted them. I think one of the reasons why I do this is because rating is relative. For example, for me, if I am to rate a movie 3 stars, that to me is a good movie for me. As a teenager, I remember I first came in touch with film history when I was reading about film history on AllMovie on a website, and they were rating movies from 1 star to 5 stars, and the 5 stars one were masterpieces, the 4 star ones were great, super top films, and the 3 stars one were still good films. So somehow that influenced the way I rate movies. So when I rate a movie 6, either 6 on IMDb or 3 on Letterboxd, that for me is a good film. That for me is not a bad film. But at the same time, I am an actor and I am a filmmaker, and I'm thinking, like, what if I also want to work with other filmmakers, with other producers. I want to be an actor in their movies. What if they will see, I don't know, a rating of 3.5 stars or whatever, or 3 stars, and somehow this will create something like, why would I work with this person, with this guy, if he doesn't like my movie? No, he might think because I rated 3 stars, I don't like his movie. But actually, I liked it, because for me, 3 stars is actually a good movie. So that's why I didn't want to create unnecessary obstacles in my career. So that's why I don't rate movies publicly. Also, my I'm too loud. I need to speak. I'm losing my voice. I'm too loud. My prof for the Death of a Beautiful Woman class watched Be My Cat at my recommendation, and she adored it. Wow, wonderful. Thank you. I'll check it out. I'm so curious about this project. I'm so curious about this project, and then I see an anger face and crying, like, why do you cry, Fred? And what project? There's nothing to cry about. You discussed how you've created something super, super extreme for your next film. Any chance you can elaborate a little? Yes, I cannot elaborate publicly, but now for you guys, I can elaborate a little. Here's the thing. It's not extreme in the sense, like, let me see how to put it without spoiling it for you. Because I want to give you something extra than what I talk about publicly, but I don't want to spoil it at the same time. Okay, let's put it this way. Hey guys, like, it's not extreme in the sense that most people would think of when they hear the word extreme. You know the type of films I make. You know what was extreme in Be My Cat. That extreme, I pushed it to the next level. Not the extreme of, in the mainstream understanding of extreme, okay? So that's the most that I can say about this. But I think if you, and I think most of you, if not all of you, really understood my work, I think you get where I'm hinting at. Yeah. I have noticed you're very positive, very enthusiastic about your project. I really love it, but do you maintain this drive? How do you keep going on those bad days when you're not feeling it? Good moment to talk about. With antidepressants. So here's the thing. When I was editing Be My Cat, like some years ago in 2015, I totally fucked up my sleep. Like one day I would be going to sleep at 1 a.m. The next day I would be going to sleep. I would say, oh my God, because I'm working myself. I like literally I was working on all day, like 24/7. with 7 hours or 6 hours of sleep, and then full work on. I was like obsessed. I wanted to finish editing. One day I would sleep at 1 a.m. The next day I would sleep at 3 a.m. because I would feel like, oh my God, let's do one more thing. Next day I would sleep at 5 a.m. Next day I would sleep at 9 a.m. Next day I would sleep at noon. Next day I would sleep in the afternoon. Next day I would sleep in the evening. Next day I would sleep again in the night, and then again in the morning, and then again in the evening. For 2 months, I constantly rolled in this horrible sleeping cycle. And I fucked up my mind, combined with the stress of learning and doing everything by myself on this movie. That's when I started first time to suffer from anxiety. And I've been suffering from anxiety for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. And now, thanks God, in the last months, I finally talked with a good psychiatrist, and he recommended some very good antidepressives. It's not for depression, it's actually for anxiety, like long-term antidepressives that do not change my mood. They work so well on me. Like literally, they gave me my life back. It's unbelievable how much I missed all these years, how much I missed from enjoying life all these years, how much stress I endured, and if I just went to a mental health professional, I could have been so much better even a long time ago. So now, thanks God, I am like most of the times I am okay. Yeah, most of the times I am okay. Maybe not as enthusiastic the way you see me now, because this is a special moment. I'm talking with you. It's a Q&A. Maybe I'm less, maybe I'm half the way you see me now, but still good. I don't go fully down, because in the last 4 years I had so many moments when I really went down, like, ooh, so bad. Do you think of your filmmaking more like of a process of creating something from scratch, or more like puzzles, rearranging snippets of inspirations you saw somewhere else? I think more like, I think it's here's how it is. I think it's an authentic process. I do not take things from somewhere else, but other movies and the things I experience in life and the things that I see in life indirectly influence me. For example, in Be My Cat, I was not aware of a lot of the influences that other films had on me when I shot that film. Only at the end of it, after I edited the film, I realized, oh my God, look how I created this character who is like smiling, he's so shiny and vulnerable, at the same time does horrible things. And then I made the connection with Carrie, Brian De Palma's Carrie, being such a huge leaving such a huge lasting impression on me as a child. And I realized, oh my God, I'm sure that movie influenced me. I'm sure that in liking this type of paradoxical character. So I think movies and things I experience do influence me, but subconsciously, I'm not aware of how they work on me. It's not like I'm thinking, I'm going to take this from this movie, I'm going to take that from that movie. No, the way I feel when I make a film, it feels like everything is authentic. Everything comes to me out of nowhere. And later I might see, wow, look, this might have been of influence because the fact that I saw this movie, I don't know, like when I was a teenager and I liked that scene, that might have influenced this moment, why this moment happened in a certain way during improv, So that's how it works. Adrian, thank you for inviting me. Of course. In Be My Cat, did you find more difficult to create an atmosphere without the music to back it up? Sorry, baby, just a second. Baby, when you use your phone, please switch to because it's taking from the internet, and I see a little bit something. Okay. Did I find difficulty to create an atmosphere without the use of music? No, on the contrary. I think in found footage, music, if you add music that is not being heard in the story within the universe of the film, I don't know, like a character turning on some radio, and obviously that music is heard or whatever. If you use music like as a soundtrack, it takes away from found footage realism, in my opinion. Like, where is that movie coming from? Because supposedly this found footage, So yeah, I didn't want to use music, and I also didn't want to go through all the complications of getting musical rights and stuff like that. When I did Be My Cat, it was a super indie project. I had very little money to make it, so even if I wanted to use, although I didn't, I was so much against using music, but even if I wanted, I would still be like, hey, but having musical rights and paying, and that's too much complication. Hi, Adrian. Dana again. Hi, Dana. Happy birthday. I missed a bit the beginning. No worry. You can watch it later in replay. Dana Shunes is an actress in We Put the World to Sleep, and a huge supporter of the project. I'm really looking forward to We Put the World to Sleep. Excited to see you working with your wife. How was working together on screen with someone you are so close in real life as characters? Okay. I don't think initially. I don't think it was easy. I would say it was a bit hard in the beginning. Yeah. My wife is here. That's why I'm looking there. I'm looking at her. I think it's because. But I don't think the main issue was that I think there were two issues. I think, one, the familiarity, the fact that we were together so much, already used with each other. This put an obstacle. That's true, because for example, initially I wanted to make it as if we don't know each other, as if we meet for the first time when we were shooting the film, and we realized, hey, like, it's so fucking damn hard to recreate that first part, like as if the same way we were when we actually met for the first time in real life. It's so hard to wipe out all the memories, everything, and act as if and in a realistic way, in a genuine way. It's and so that's an obstacle. That's a big obstacle, I can say. And the other obstacle is us having different creative visions about what film should be, what art should be, what cinema is actually. I am a found footage. Back then I was a big found footage fan. Right now, I can say that I'm not so much of a found footage fan the way I was back then. But back then I was a strong found footage fan, and she was not at all, I would say, a found footage fan. Practically the opposite of me, So we kind of, and I think while working on this film, we kind of reached a middle ground, step by step, little by little. I think that's what happened. It was harder in the first half when we shot those scenes that I was telling you, last year. I would say we encountered more obstacles back then. It was harder, but now in this footage, the extra footage that we shot in June, I think things went really smoothly and went much better than last time. I would say, like, very well, I would say. And you will see. You will see what we did. I think next, and we still have some crazy extra footage to the extra footage, as I said. Fingers crossed on that as well. I'm reading. Since most of us Americans only think of Romania through Dracula or horror movies, tell us number one thing you love about your country, please. Number one thing I love about my country. Uh, well, there was one thing that I loved the most about my country, the fact that my country and the Romanian government during the pandemic, where we couldn't continue with the shootings, we had to postpone everything, we didn't have any source of income. What I loved a lot about my country was that the government paid me COVID compensations, like unexpectedly, I did file for COVID compensations as an indie artist, and I explained that I'm an indie artist, I did this, I did that, I put some documents, but I still didn't expect them to pay me because there are all types of crazy criterias and blah, blah, blah. And usually indie artists are not a priority, unless you are like literally, I don't know, employed in a place, in a more traditional workplace. But to my surprise, like they actually paid me COVID compensations for a couple of months. Why do I say I used to? And that when that happened, that's when I started to really, really love my country. Like, wow. But guess what? This month they sent me an email, and they said that they did some extra checkings and blah blah blah. And they fucking changed their mind, and I need to give the money back. So fuck my country. I'm joking. Not fuck my country, but anyway, that's so not cool. That's so not cool. Asking me to give the money back. Yeah. So that's the thing that I loved the most about my country. It paid me COVID compensations, and yeah, and now I don't love it anymore. But still good. Okay. You know what? Still good because hopefully I will be able to have that studio project, and hopefully that will happen the way we hope and dream and pray that it will happen, and hopefully I will be paid well for that thing, so I will be able to pay this money back, hopefully. So if this happens, I'm still grateful that at least the Romanian government lend me some money for a year, at least, because back then during the pandemic, those money were crucial, It would have been so bad for us if we didn't have those money. Yeah, still good. A little bit of a temporary help from the Romanian government. Since most of us Americans only know or think of Romania through Dracula okay, I already said that, sorry. The further the better. I'm sure Anne would endorse this idea wholeheartedly. I'm so sorry, but I think I forgot what idea I was talking about at the time you said this. I forgot. You talk quite a lot about getting into your character and living as them, which is super cool and super admirable. But I do hope you also take care of your mental health, King. Thank you. I'm not a king. I'm just Adrian. Adrian with cheers with a glass of water. I do take care of my mental health. Yeah, I as I said, I should have taken care of my mental health long before, and I do take care, but yeah, I'm not sure how much, because I do risk my mental health. Yeah, for example, for the role in We Put the World to Sleep, for the extra footage that I said, that those extreme moments that I had to shoot, I explained in what way extreme, a different extreme from what most people would say extreme, but still extreme. I didn't go out of the apartment. I didn't go out of the apartment for, I think, almost 2 months. Yeah, and not because it was not the lockdown, because we didn't have right now in May and June, we didn't have a full lockdown for the role. We had only a partial lockdown. I could still go in the day, but I didn't go at all, in order to be in this character and trying to think like my character. So that, I'm sure that did affected my mental health and caused some harm, but I don't know. I just thought it's necessary. If it's not, then I did it like, if this could have been done in a different way, and like, I don't know. At the time, it didn't seem to me that I am, I don't know. I couldn't see an alternative at the time. So I just thought of doing it this way, like literally doing some stuff like this. Yeah. Hopefully it won't have like long lasting effects on me. See you fine, very well here. These are the confirmations that you are hearing me and seeing me. Okay. Slight buffering. Yeah, slight buffering. But now I think it's okay. I'm late. I'm sorry. Happy birthday. Thank you. No problem. You can watch the replay later. Hello, Adrian. Glad I'm here finally. Hi. Glad you are here as well. Yeah, Jane. Jane. It's 10:52. Yeah. It's your birthday. I will say a happy birthday, but a little bit later. It's your birthday tomorrow. I love slow burn. Slow burn confirmed. Had fun. Slow burn confirmed. What did I say? Maybe. Do you know what was I saying at the point when somebody's, because slow burn confirmed? I forgot. I think it has to do with about the movie. Yeah, probably about the movie. Yeah. I think you guessed that. I think I know. It's about the first half of the movie. I was saying like, it might be boring a little bit in the first half. I get it. But I have a trick for that. I have a trick. You will see. I cannot tell you what. I have a trick that will make people watch, and that will even make the people that do not like slow burn, will make them bear kinda the first half and wait for the steam in the second one. And I have such a wonderful trick, and it's a frame. I will frame it in a certain way. I can tell you. Sorry, guys. Sorry, but like, we are not. Sorry, this is not a public. It's not a public live stream. I can say more stuff. So I will have a frame before we put the word to sleep. So the movie will begin. I don't want to say what type of frame. It will be framed in a certain narrative. So in that narrative, already you will. I think you will get to see some of the steamy stuff in the second part. When you begin watching the film. So the people that are not into slow burn and stuff like that, hopefully by having a sneak peek in that frame narrative, just when the movie begins, will be enough to keep them waiting for those scenes to come up in the second part. So I think in this regard, it will work better than Be My Cat, because Be My Cat didn't necessarily have a thing like this. Had fun at the wedding. Yes. Actually, can you believe? Oh my God! Can you believe this was the first wedding I attended as a guest? This is crazy, unbelievable. Like, I grew up in the 90s, by the way, in Romania, and we didn't have a big family. It was just me and my mom. And in the 90s was after the communism fell in Romania, right after the revolution, and the country was a total mess, a total chaos, and extreme scarcity. So we couldn't afford to go to weddings, and also my mom didn't have too many friends, didn't have too many. Also not having a big family and all that, and simply there wasn't any opportunity for me to attend a wedding as a child and teenager. And later I think I became I became during college, crazy only with acting and filmmaking and stuff like this. I think I ignored my social life. I ignored my social life, like making friends or going to people's weddings and stuff like that. And also, when you go in Romania, I think I was invited at some point I was invited by a colleague of mine from the acting school. I was invited to his wedding. But I remember, I think that was the period when I was like really struggling financially and trying to put money aside to make Be My Cat or for something else. Again, creatively, And I thought because in Romania, when you go to somebody's wedding, it is expected from you to make a quite consistent financial gift, like not little, quite a lot, and it's kind of a shame. It's ugly to go without making a consistent financial gift. So I felt, hey, instead of just going and just bringing little, let's just not go, So so my sister-in-law's wedding was like the first wedding I attended. It was really cool. By the way, it was this like, although in Turkey it was very Western like, very Americanish like, exactly the way you see like in movies, like at the side of a lake. I think I'm going to put some pictures on social media soon. A pool. But it was like a lake, yeah. Anyway, did any of the films from Video Nasty era in the 80s inspired you for Be My Cat? In the Video Nasties era of the 80s. No. Sorry, I was responding to my wife. I would have to look at a list of Video Nasties, but just straight up, I don't think necessarily. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think the nasty parts in Be My Cat were subconsciously, I think, might have been subconsciously influenced by a movie called Mute Witness. It's not a Video Nasty, I think, but it's from the 90s, something like that. It's about a girl who goes she works on a film set, and she cannot speak. That's why Mute Witness. She cannot speak. Works on that film set, and somehow she is left behind when filming ends at the end of the day. She still wanders a little bit around the set. And at some point, she is shocked to discover that I'm not sure, by the way, I might be wrong about this, a lot of the elements in this plot, because I watched it, I think, when I was a child. At some point, she discovers that a woman there is a scene. She encounters a scene being shot in a kind of conditions like you see in the basement scene in Be My Cat, those snuff underground kind of conditions. So the woman is being held, is tied to a bed or something like that. And there are these people who are supposedly about to torture her, but this is supposed to be just a movie, And she's watching thinking, oh, that's a movie. The woman expects to be just a movie. And at some point, one of the guys, I think, begins to actually torture or kill the movie for real, and that's when the girl panics and runs away. The woman is in shock, because she thought that was going to be just a movie. And then all the film happens. The guys trying to catch the girl because they heard the sound when she ran away, and it's crazy. So, but it has this, and I think, although when I did Be My Cat, I didn't think at all about that film. Even later, I didn't think of it. Only I think about 2 years after I did Be My Cat, and it was like I was going through rating some old movies on IMDb, trying to remember, what are my childhood films? And I came upon this film, and I was like, fuck, like that is so kind of similar with the basement thing, like me telling Flory that we are just going to be just a movie, her being tied on the bed, and then me doing the real stuff on her, and might have influenced me subconsciously. Yes, I meant in the moment. Yeah, that's me. All same here. Word up. I don't know the expression word up. What do you know the expression word up? No problem. Yeah, let's move on because we need to move on quickly because it's already an hour. How do you feel about your film being categorized as a snuff film on Rate Your Music? Also, can use to rate films. Thank you. I didn't know my movie is on another site being rated and talked about. I will definitely check it out. Rate Your Music. I'll categorize it as a snuff film. I'm okay with that. I think my movie is again, in regards to it being stuff. Again, my movie is a paradox. It's a contradiction of genres, because at the same time it can leave gore fans disappointed because it's mostly psychological. It doesn't have gore. It doesn't have too much blood. Very little scene. So it's a psychological thing. But at the same time, weirdly, it can also be categorized as a snuff film. And snuff films are usually the most violent and the most gory ones. So it's such a contradiction of genres, actually, in my cat. But I'm okay with it. You're just describing my work schedule. Sleep ain't real anymore. Ellie, I think it depends on I don't know. I think it depends from person to person, but I think everybody has a breaking point. Like if you had this crazy sleeping program till now and somehow you feel that, you could take it and you're okay, there is a chance that if you continue, at some point there will be a breaking point along the way if you continue, and then the only thing that will help you will be antidepressants. Like it can totally destroy your brain, literally. It can leave it happened to me, and it's not like I was a person that I was like super stressed or my life or anything. Like literally, that crazy, that fucked me up, of course, combined with the stress and other stuff. So I would highly suggest you that you put your sleep in order, to not risk something like this, to not risk going into depression, anxiety, and other mental problems. Are you taking a similar approach to practical effects in your new movie? Much better approach. I found a way to do much better blood. And by the way, in Turkey, I watched, because I'm in Turkey right now. My wife is Turkish, as some of you or most of you probably know, and we checked on YouTube on a kind of an online Turkish film academy, and they tell you there how to do fake blood. And oh my God, it's such a wonderful recipe. Maybe I will do one time, because it really looks so well. It looks so much like blood, and so easy to make. So easy to make. So thankfully we will have better blood, if we are going to have blood. Not sure yet. We will see. I don't want to spoil anything here. Are you taking a similar? Okay. Glad to hear you're getting help with you. Yeah, mental health. Exactly. Message retracted. I have anxiety as well. It's really challenging. I would say don't try to. Oh, it's so hot here, and I cannot turn on the air conditioner because it will make a noise for the microphone, and it would be bad. I would say, like, if you have anxiety, do not postpone seeing a mental health professional. Like, really go talk to a psychiatrist and see what type of antidepressant they can prescribe. For example, I'm taking Prozac, but very important, anyone, do not take short-term antidepressives like Xanax. They fuck you up so badly, they create bigger problems than the ones that they are supposed to fix. Like when I was in Romania, I thought I was having some financial problems like some months ago, and I thought, okay, let's take this psychiatrist because it's cheaper. It was something like super cheap. There was an offer. I don't know. There was an offer. They just opened this new clinic and blah blah, and it was an online psychiatrist. And I talked with them very quickly, like and they gave me Xanax and sleeping pills. And oh my God, both Xanax and sleeping pills really fucked me up. And then when I saw that things are not okay, I talked with another psychiatrist in Turkish again, in Turkey, again an online one. But this one I chose a good one that had very good Google reviews, and the guy speaks English as well. Wonderful. So when he heard that I was prescribed Xanax and sleeping pill, I was like, oh my God, are you like that's shit? Like, don't take that shit. Short-term antidepressives are not to be taken for long-term. That's just for very short, intense panic attacks, stuff like that. That's not to treat your problem. They just fog your problem. Instead of treating the issue, they just apply some paint on top of the issue. So this guy prescribed me long-term antidepressives, which work very differently from the short-term ones. They don't give you a certain mood. They don't fuck up with your mood, So he prescribed me one for morning and one for evening. And the one for evening has, as a side effect, it makes you sleepy. So instead of having a sleeping pill, which totally fucks you up with your mind and it's so bad, he gave me a long-term antidepressant, which has the side effect of sleeping practically. So I'm taking good stuff right now, and I'm really like literally these things gave me my life back, because years of, all this period after I made Be My Cat, like literally I could barely watch horror because of the anxiety, because anything that would make me feel a thrill would amplify my anxiety. So now, like, thanks God, like I feel like I can even watch horror films again. Like literally gave me my life back. Do you do found footage very well, but are there any other styles you want to explore? Would you do a fully scripted film? Definitely, and I have to. And here's the thing. I told you I received this wonderful opportunity to work on a studio film. It's in development, the project. Hopefully things will happen the way we hope and we pray and we want them to happen. But here's the thing: the person that kind of discovered me, and said, "Wow, I love Be My Cat. Would you like to be a part of this project?" He said, "Hey, like if you want to be taken seriously in the film industry, you need to do a traditional film. Unfortunately, found footage is so much looked down upon in the industry. Like literally film studios, studio executives, they run from found footage as if it's, it's leper or whatever, or let's say COVID this time, or maybe not. Anyway, they literally don't want to hear of found footage. So even if you make a found footage and even if it's so much mainstream and so successful, they still don't trust you as a filmmaker to give you new projects that are not found footage. They still don't respect you enough. So for that reason, I would have to, at some point, I have to do a non-found footage film, because I want to be taken seriously in Hollywood. I want to be given bigger projects. So that's the thing. And by the way, this is and I also want to do it. It's not like I don't want. Oh, I hate. I want to do it. It's a challenge. Let's do a film which is not found footage. Let's do it. See what the fuck? What the hell? Sorry, I'm using too much the F word. See what the hell happens. Yes, I'm. Again, I started speaking too loud. I don't know what's wrong with me. Losing my voice here. Did any of the films go ahead? Let me scroll because I lost a little bit the chain of chat here of comments. Did you have any other endings for Be My Cat? No, I did not shoot any other endings. The ending could have went in slightly different directions, but we didn't shoot other. Everything that you see in Be My Cat is a first take. So yeah, I didn't. Have you ever received any confirmation of Anne Hathaway having seen Be My Cat? No confirmation whatsoever. I have no idea whatsoever. I know her team is aware of the movie. It's complicated. It's a long story. Like some years ago when we were scammed, I told you, by a producer. That guy used, and I think, I'm not sure, I think it might have been a coincidence, or maybe not, maybe he intentionally did it. Like he said that he is working for Anne Hathaway's manager. So he made some contracts with us, and he wrote to us from a fake email address, which was very similar to the email address of Anne Hathaway's actual manager. And he faked signatures, and he did a lot of frauds, And at some point, when I saw that we are not getting paid for all the work we were doing, we contacted the actual studio. We contacted the guys in Hollywood, and they were like, hey, we never heard of this guy. His name is Andrea Corbella, by the way. If you go to my website, I have an article. I wrote all this story. It's crazy. So they said we never learned about this guy, And then we told them the story and what happened and all this. So practically, indirectly, kinda, the Anne Hathaway managing team learned about me, but I'm not sure to what extent they were interested in my first film, or what kind of first film was that, or I think I told them some things, but even if they know, I'm not sure if they would tell Anne Hathaway, and I also don't know if Anne Hathaway would Google herself or not. I don't know if Anne Hathaway would read her own Wikipedia. For example, Be My Cat is mentioned on her Wikipedia. I don't know these things, so who knows? My guess is she at least heard of it, or hopefully she even watched the trailer. Not sure if she would watch the movie though. Yeah, because she's busy. Like people in Hollywood, you know how they are. Like if a movie is not mentioned like in a top publication, like a Hollywood Reporter or whatever, that's not a real movie for them. Like they literally, and it makes sense. It's not like they are like, oh, indie films are shit. No, they are so busy. They are so busy. They have so many projects, so many. Even with all the people taking care of all these things, they are still busy. So that's why I think they use lots of filters in their life, and probably a top publication is one of the filters. So unless a movie is selected to Sundance or is talked about in the Rap or the Hollywood Reporter or Variety, they won't look at it. Not all of them. There are some of them who are into indie cult films. For example, Drew Barrymore. Like at some point, she was like praising the movie Freaks, for example. And I'm sure there are people in Hollywood who have this secret passion for indie horror films. But I don't think Anne Hathaway is one of them. I wouldn't say so. Yeah. So because of that, not sure of the chances that she actually watched the film. Have you seen the YouTuber Mr. Gigi's video and he talks about Be My Cat? It's where I learned about the movie. Yes, I've seen it, and I was like, wow, that was such a thing, to be talked by somebody who has so many followers. Like lots of people learned about the movie from his video. And unfortunately, I haven't put a comment, and I was interacting with people there in the comments, but unfortunately, I did the mistake. I didn't know. Back then, I didn't know how YouTube worked. So some people were asking, oh, where can we watch the movie and stuff like that. And I put some links in the comments, and then my YouTube comments, they started to be marked by YouTube, not by people, as spam, as if I'm spamming. So all my comments and all my interactions are now hidden from people, or if not hidden, very little shown. So anyway, I learned my lesson the hard way. Because I thought like, oh, it's going to be easy, just like in the found footage group. Somebody says something, I comment, we interact, everyone is happy, There, no, you want to interact with fans on YouTube a little bit too much, YouTube says, nah, you are spamming. although I was not. Okay. Hey, look, from Australia. What are your thoughts on found footage films that break format? It always bothered me because it ruins the immersion, but I'm interested in your creative perspective. Hey, when I was such a found footage freak some years ago, I was bothered as well. For example, I did enjoy the movie Cloverfield, but that's a thing. Actually, Cloverfield doesn't break too many rules. I think Cloverfield kind of follows the rules. A movie that, for example, breaks a lot of the rules is Chronicles. I was like so much expecting for Chronicle. For example, there's that moment when they in Chronicle, they, with the power of their mind, they move a bear to come to a child, and then you hear in the background, you hear a whoosh sound, like this this creepy sound effect, and I was like, okay. But at the same time, these movies, I think it depends. You know what? I think it depends. I think if the movie sets the premise to really work like a found footage film, to really show actual footage that was found, and in that film you kind of add all types of gimmicks, I think yes, that's the problem. It takes away. But if the movie is a Hollywood film mainly made for entertainment, and it's obvious that they are just it's obvious that they don't necessarily want to make it really 100% look as if it's actual found footage. It's obvious that they are just using the found footage style in order to make an entertaining Hollywood film. In that case, it's okay, in my opinion, because you already start the film. You don't have the expectation to see genuine found footage. You just accept the gimmick, that the trick that they use, and then just have fun with it. So it depends, I would say. It depends on the type of film. Next time, tell Romanian government you'll put the word to sleep. I'm sure they'll gift an entire Bucharest to you. You're so sweet. Thank you. I know why you said. Okay. It's coming. Your birthday is coming in like how many? 40 minutes left. Yeah, we have Jane from Russia. Her birthday is on 21st, and my plan is to still not keep this Q&A that long, 1 hour and a half. But in case I get so much dragged to 2 hours, we are going to do a nice happy birthday here live when the clock ticks 12. Slow burns are best burns. Lol. L.M. Klimov's Come and See is probably the best example. Wow, that's a movie that I still haven't watched. Have you heard of Kraigna's TV? Kraigna's TV. It's on YouTube, and I think it's something that may or may not strike your fancy. What is it? I don't know. It's like a movie or something else. Commerce scenes too context heavy to be perceived as slow burn, but this movie is literally brick mount on top of another. But taken at face value and technically, I guess I partially agree. I see. Yeah, but is this like the title? It's a weird word. Like, is it like an autocorrect and the title is different, or that's actually the title of the film? Lol, word up means I agree with whatever you were saying. Okay, sorry, I didn't know. There are still some English, although now I feel like quite fluent in English. There are still some things that don't come to me instantly. Categorized as a snuff movie, cool, surely. I agree. It was just the first film that came to mind. Come and See. Ooh, okay. Come and See for me, just a brilliant example of filmmaking in every little sense. I've been medicating myself for depression, anxiety for years, and going to therapy. I just work in group homes, and it'll be for the summer. It's going to grad school. I'm going to grad school soon. I'm wishing you all the best, and I really hope you can I really hope you are managing it well, because it's such a thing, mental health is, I think, one of the most ignored health issues in the world. People think like because it happens in your mind, because it happens with your mind, people tend to assume that it's just in your mind. So you can use your mind to get rid of it. No, you cannot use your mind to get rid of it. It's like having a heart problem and then being told, oh, it's just in your heart. Just use your heart to get rid of it. You cannot. Same thing, just because it's in your mind doesn't mean you can use your mind to get rid of it. You need professional help for that, either psychological or if it's anxiety or depression, psychological doesn't necessarily help. Most probably you will have to resort to some sort of medication. Yeah, but I'm happy. Like, I don't give a fuck about the side effects, whatever, everything. Like the quality improvement, the fact that I can finally enjoy life again, this is like a gift to me. It's like I'm happy. I'm happy for, and I love doctors and I love drugs. Thank you for worrying, though. It's very kind. I'm so sorry, but Ellie, yes. Yeah. I was telling you to take care of that. Okay. Well, yeah, like definitely. I mean, if you, but I'm sure if you are already dealing with anxiety and depression, if you have a bad sleep, and that will really amplify your anxiety. I'm studying makeup prosthetics at the moment, and it's great. Love the enthusiasm. Great, thank you. Xanax is only good for letting rappers off this planet. Jay-Z, please don't ban me. Yeah, honestly, like Xanax and short-term antidepressants. Sorry, I forgot something. Like I said, they're only good for extreme cases. They're also good for recreational drugs. So if you want once in a year or in a month to just go high with Xanax. Xanax is not to treat your, I don't know why. Like, are they fucking crazy? Why do they still prescribe it to people with mild anxiety? Why are there still psychiatrists prescribing that? It's crazy. Anyway. Side note for that, the drug class, things like Xanax and Valium are called benzodiazepine. I take small doses as needed for my anxiety. They are very addictive, however. Yes, I mean, probably my anxiety wasn't, I don't think my anxiety was severe, like not to a point of really incapacitating my life, like not being able to function. I assume that probably when it becomes so bad and when you have panic attacks, I assume there is a reason to take Xanax. But definitely in my case, it was a mistake because for me to be prescribed, because I felt so much the bad effects of it, the way it alters my mood and it plays with my mind. Because my goal was not to get high, Long-term antidepressives they don't get you high, they just make you, they just remake the balance of chemicals in your brain. So they should be taken carefully and responsibly, like any medication. Exactly. Hey, Adrian. So I'm sorry. So I'm not a doctor. So if any of you is really going through very serious anxiety and you had a good psychiatrist who really thinks that the only way for you is to take Xanax, not just a superficial checkup and just say, some psychiatrists are really superficial. So then don't listen to what I said, like, Xanax is bad. If you really were prescribed by a good doctor after a thorough investigation and they really decided you need to take it, then you really need to take it. Like, I always trust science and medicine and good doctors that really do their job well. I don't know. I just had bad luck, I think, with that doctor in Romania. I just found a bad one, I think. I use Calms for anxiety and try to relaxation exercise is pretty good. It hits me at times. Totally totally enlightening to hear your thoughts and experiences. Yeah. I at some point I will also go publicly. I don't think it's the time yet. I don't think it's time yet for me to go publicly about this, because I don't want, I'm not a big hotshot Hollywood. I don't have yet big studio projects and whatever. And these studios, they have such a good eye for liabilities, So I don't want, before me having a job with a studio, me posting on social media, raising awareness about mental issue. And what if somebody, an executive from that studio, sees that post and they think, this guy has problems, has mental problems. What about not taking the risk? What about not working with him? I don't want this being potentially being a liability for me right now. So that's why I don't go public with it yet. But once I do plan to go public at some point. I believe that at some point, once I have more connections in the industry, once I have, let's say, a contract with a studio, once things start rolling, and then I will be able to go publicly, and then I will also make a bigger impact by going publicly about this, because more people will know me. So when I will be talking about mental health and stuff like that, and hey, don't ignore it. Talk to a doctor. It's so important. It's just like any other medical emergency. In my opinion, I'm like so much looking forward to talk about these things. Found footage is so underrated and underappreciated, kind of like the underbelly of movies where people either get it or they never will. What's the most exactly? Yeah. What's the most unhinged reaction you ever got from someone who thought Be My Cat was real? Ha! Not a direct reaction, but someone from my local town, from Rădăuți, that's where I shot Be My Cat. So when I met them, I was talking with them some kind of a year ago, I think, a year or 2 years ago. I was talking with them we were having a beer, and he said, like, oh my God, like when I was in high school, like, he's younger than me. So when Be My Cat came out, and there were news about it, like my colleagues, my classmates in high school, they were saying things like, oh my God, have you heard about that guy? About what he did, like he took some actresses and he kidnapped them and did some horrible things with them for a movie. Like literally that was fucking mental. Like for me to learn this thing, that in my hometown, high school kids were talking about me, not as if I did a film in which this is fictional. They were talking as if I did these things for real, that I kidnapped and I tortured some actresses in a fucking basement in Rădăuți for real. So you can imagine the amount, you can imagine the wow, what they were thinking. Wow. Well, it must have been cool for them. When you're a teenager, learning that there is a serial killer in your town sounds cool, When you have a horror-oriented mind and you're a teenager, and you don't really have the sense that, oh, the serial killer might come and kill your own family or something like this. You don't have the sense of oh my God, immediate danger. You are more like a dream. Especially when you're a horror fan, it's cool, wow, there's a guy who actually did that to actresses and killed them. I think I provided them with cool quality, thrilling entertainment. I wonder when they learned, or if they ever learned. It's possible that they never learned. It's possible that they never, because you know what? When I was in college, when I was studying acting, at some point we had to provide some monologues, to do some monologues in the acting school. And that was in 2008 or 2009. and I provided a monologue from the Blair Witch Project. It wasn't selected after all because the colleagues, I think, didn't like it or whatever. I don't remember. And I said a couple of words about the movie, about the Blair Witch Project. And one of my college, how do you say to a classmate in college? Do you still call them? You don't call them classmate. Do you call them college mate? How do you say that? I never. How? Classmate. I don't know. When I think of classmate, I think of only high school. Somehow it's hard for me to. Yeah. Anyway, so one of my colleagues, in college, when I was talking about the Blair Witch Project, he was like, "Oh my God! But do you know that this actually happened for real, and these guys actually disappeared and all this?" I'm like, man, you still didn't learn even after 10 years that this was not real. And that was so funny for me, and him being like into acting and into supposedly movies and stuff like this. So yeah, it's possible that that generation of those high school kids that thought I killed people in a basement in Red Woods might still think that. Imagine me seeing me at some point on the streets. That's the guy. I thought you are in prison. Adrian, calm down. Don't lose your voice. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. I think we can take out this scammer if we all fight him. Oh, I will. How can I? I will find a way. Yeah, to like it's a and I will write the scammer's name. You know what? Let's write about and just a second. Andrea Corbella is his name. I'm putting it in the chat. His name and also exactly the article that I wrote about him. Just a second. If you have a couple of seconds patience. I found the article that I wrote. I will put the link to the article, and then you will read there the whole story. And by the way, there's something even funny and Anne Hathaway related. Like, it's even meta. It's even meta, literally. Like, yeah, I'm not going into it right now because it's a long story, but you can read it in the article. You will find it, I think, so interesting. This is the article, and this is his name. And by the way, be careful of this guy, because recently I received some messages from some people saying like, "Oh, I've been contacted by this guy who now is he says like he is a manager or something, or he wants to manage me as an actor." And then I read your article, like, should I trust him or not? I'm like, no, don't trust him, So I'm so happy that I wrote about it. Be careful. So if you ever receive any message or anything from this guy, he is still looking for new victims, unfortunately. And I made a complaint to the police, but because he's not, like, we were in Romania when we got scammed, and he was from Italy, and the international stuff are very complicated. So nothing happened with that complaint that I made. Indie horror is where the talent exists. Yes, that's true. Thank you for answering my question, and thank you for inviting me. I mean, there's also talent in mainstream, but I think, but they all, even the ones that are talented with mainstream, they still started with indie, with some minor exceptions, with some people that were really, really lucky in life, to just get a studio production, like their first film to be directly a studio production. You need to be damn lucky for that. Most of them started with little indie stuff. Thank you for answering my question. Thank you for inviting to me. It's awesome. I hope you do more of this. Yes, I plan to do more of. I will also do. Oh, it's getting quite late. 1:33. What are some of your favorite found footage films? Ever seen Descent into Darkness by Raphael Cherkassky? Yes, I've seen Descent into Darkness, and I can't say it's a movie that I appreciate. I have a lot of movies that I do appreciate, but I'm not really. How should I say? They don't really. really touch my soul, you know. Like, I appreciate kind of what they did objectively, but it's not really my cup of tea, you know. So kind of this is Descent into Darkness was that type of film for me. Maybe because it was, some people said it's a lot of people compared it with Be My Cat. Maybe it was because too much similar with Be My Cat. I'm not so sure. But anyway, no connection, by the way, whatsoever. They were kind of. I learned about it after. It's a Polish web series. It's Kraina Gravoti. Ah, okay, it's a series. I see. You're exactly right. Mental health is loved here in the US by regular medical doctors. Honestly, doctors do that? Wow. It's all in your head, they say. It's pushed. Like, literally, doctors do say that? That's fucking crazy. That's unfucking believable. Like, literally, a doctor saying something like this, saying like it's in your. It doesn't matter if he's not a psychiatrist, if he's a heart doctor or surgeon or whatever. A doctor saying like this, I don't know, like, oof, it's horrible. Makes total sense to not go public while you are up and coming. Yeah. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be such a big issue, but I don't want to risk, and I will go public. As far like, since I know myself, I know that I will go public. I'm still happy with myself, with this decision that I have for the future. Would you consider making a Screen Life movie? Unfriended, Searching. I feel like they are more and more popular format in the found footage. I really enjoy them. I think you might be seeing some. I think the framing, and we put the word to sleep, might be. Okay, fuck it. This is not a spoiler. You will have a frame story, and we put the word to sleep, most probably, which is going to be a Screen Life. Yeah, so I said it. It's not a spoiler, you know, because it's just a short frame. Actually, it's a framing narrative, and I'm not giving away the exact narrative, but yeah, it's most probably going to be Screen Life. That would be cool. Another version of Be My Cat where we find out it was real. Yeah, kind of like Grading Copters 2 did with the found footage series. There will be, by the way, some of you maybe know that I've been talking about Be My Cat sequel, but even we put the word to sleep is going to be taking place in the Be My Cat universe. Not a sequel. I wouldn't call it a sequel, not a direct sequel for sure, but has some connections with Be My Cat. There is stuff there. Any tips for someone trying to make it in the horror field or of filmmaking? There is a short answer and there is a long answer here. The short answer would be the same one that I was telling it even in the public Q&A that I did. The short answer would be don't listen to don't listen to any advice that you read on the internet about anything you need in order to make a film and be successful. They will say you need this, you need this, you need this, you need that. You don't need a fucking thing. Like, you don't need, I'm telling you don't need a camera, you don't need money, you don't need an actor. You can, like, I always said this, I always have this saying, like, oh, you can, even if you don't have a phone, you just borrow your friend's phone for a couple of hours and you shoot a found footage short film, and then you have a film, you know? Like, don't allow people and articles on the internet and all types of advices. Don't allow these things to scare you, to put you down into not doing anything. That would be like, free yourself from the mental limitations that are put upon people who want to start filmmaking. But if you already freed yourself and you already made your own films, and if your question is, okay, maybe you are already making your films, but you just want to know how to be successful with them. Well, here it's a much longer discussion, and I'm also at the same time, I'm not sure that I am the best person to tell you about that, because I don't think I'm not there yet, to that level of success, like having a studio project, being paid for my movie and stuff like that. So I don't think so. I can tell you this, how Hollywood works. Hollywood and not Hollywood. Let's not talk about Hollywood. The film industry, because there are smaller studios like Shudder. Some people consider Shudder Hollywood, some don't. But it's still a kind of a studio right now. How things happen in the film industry, it's so important. It's so like the film industry, and especially Hollywood, I've been told that it's a small circle of people. So if one hears about you and talks about you, then all the other ones will talk about you, and then they will give you a chance. They might, most probably you will get a certain type of project, So try to have as much exposure as possible. The more people talk about you and your film, the better. Because the more people talk about you and your film, the higher the chances are that this word of mouth and reviews and articles and festivals and all this, the higher chance that all this snowball will reach at some point somebody with decision power in the industry. And that somebody will say, I like this guy, I've heard about him. And also another thing that works in Hollywood, in the industry, it's not enough for one person to they base their decisions. People in the industry, they base their decisions a lot on what they hear from other people. So even if they hear, if somebody, an executive, a studio executive hears about you, he will, there is a small chance that he will give you a job just because he heard of you from one source. He will have to hear from you from multiple sources. He will talk with his friends, with his colleagues, or maybe not. Maybe he will just wait. And if it will happen at some point that another colleague of him says the same thing, says, hey, have you heard about that guy who did that film? Only then he begins start to think, so two people so far in my circle of friends and business contacts heard about this guy. And then he really starts considering you. And then if you will have even a third person saying the same thing or something like that, then he will definitely contact you and he will say, hey, we heard about you. Kind of, that's how things work in the industry. So that's why that's the secret actually. The more people talk about you and your film, the better, the higher the chances that all this snowball will reach to the ears of people with decision power in the industry. That's how the industry works. Yeah, Ronald Rushing. That's the exactly reason why I try to get word out about Be My Cat to everyone I know and every found footage. Thank you so much. I mean, you have no idea. You do have an idea, but you do have an idea. That's wonderful. Why am I saying you have no idea? Obviously, you do have the idea. Exactly. That's thank you so much. This is how it is. This is how it works. So, literally, fans, friends, followers, everybody, the more you talk about the film, the higher are the chances that these people in the studio system will give me the job, and they will say, we've heard of this guy, because this is, and I cannot talk about this publicly, I can tell you privately, there is always this it's a long story. It's a long story. It's already 1:44. Oof, I'm gonna go later into this. I'm tired. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm tired, and it's a long story, so I'm just gonna go to respond to the other questions. I'm gonna do another private Q&A, and I'm gonna talk more about how the industry works and stuff like this. Any tips for some? Okay. Thank you for the invite, but I have a grad school class starting soon. Happy birthday, and I'll message you later on. Thank you. Thanks, Ryan. You can watch the... you're gone. Yeah, so anyone can, if you need to go or something, you can watch later. I think the only legit comparison is the accent. Raphael and your films are very different, so that's an unfair comparison for viewers to make. Yeah, a lot of people compared. They said, if you've seen Be My Cat, you need to see that one, or if you see that one, to see Be My Cat. Yeah, I think the Eastern European vibe is what made people say this, because otherwise, in terms of story and even I don't see much connections. Yay lol. I think the yay lol is for the screen life, right? Hi Karen. Yeah. Cool. It depends on the doctor, truthfully. One doctor has told me my depression was because I was fat rather than... Oh my god, that doctor was a bully. That was the type that Carrie killed in Brian De Palma's film and Stephen King's novel. Unfortunately, she didn't kill all of them. Obviously, some of them somehow survived and became doctors. So he told you that... okay. Unbelievable. Yeah. Quick question: when did you know you wanted to be a film writer, director? A quick section, and I'm going to do a quick answer because I'm actually, this is a longer answer, but I'm going to be quick because I'm tired. It's also quite late, by the way. It's close to midnight here for me. Yeah. I think it was a process, and it began when I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. So before 2001: A Space Odyssey, as a child and teenager, I had some movies which were favorites of mine, but I was not watching movies like and understanding that I connect with a work of art, this is an event. I was mainly watching movies for entertainment, probably. Just like you would, most people would listen to music, like in a car or whatever. But at some point, I remember as a teenager, I think I was like changing the channels on my TV, and all of a sudden, I came upon this scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I was like, oh my god, I've had this revelation. I think like literally the hair went up on my. I had this chills on my spine. Like such a moment seeing that, and that was one of the most important moments in my life, seeing that scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey and feeling that revelation that oh my god, that moment, in a second I understood that film is an art, and that's when I started to read and investigate about film history and all that stuff, and later studying acting and studying a very unique method acting by a guy called Ion Kojar, and he had some principles which are very in theater. He had some very principles in theater which are very similar to the found footage principles. At that point, I was not aware of the found footage principles, but I was so much fascinated with his theater directing method and his acting method. Like he always said that, in order for the audiences to empathize with what they see and what they hear in a theater show, in a play, you need to make the play look like an actual life event. You cannot have any elements whatsoever in the play to remind the viewer that what they see is a play and not an actual real life event. So that's why he sought to make these plays that people would be like, oh my god, they would be like mind blown, like, oh my god, is this a play or is this actually happening for real? That was, and also he he valued improvisation so much, because he said like, oh, you need to go through an actual creative, genuine process, just like actors need to go to actual transformative creative process while acting, just like people go in real life, and improvisation gives you that, because you never know what will happen, and everything that happens is a discovery, and it hits you, and you are surprised by everything, because you don't know what your partner, what line they will say to you, what will happen, so the process of life, it's continuous flow, natural flow of life and emotions, and the audiences can feel that, can feel that it's real, that it's not acting, that it's happening for real, so I learned so much from this guy, from my acting school. I didn't study with him directly. I studied with his student, because he was very, very old. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2010, exactly at the end of my college. But I only met him once at a workshop. And later, after I studied with him, and I was so fascinated with his methods, I made the connection. I was like, oh my God, just a second. Like the Blair Witch Project, the movie that I saw years ago, actually did the same thing in film that this guy is doing in Romania in theater. And that's when I connected, that acting method and what that guy is doing. That's when I connected these things with the found footage concept, and that's when I started to write the found footage manifesto, and that coincided with me having a one-man show, which I was very successful in some theater shows, but I wanted to bring it to next level, instead of touching audiences with what I create, with my show, instead of touching just a couple of Romanian audiences in a theater room, or in a pub, because it was an indie show. Sometimes I played it in theater pubs. My dream was to touch many more audiences worldwide, So that's when I adapted the character in my theater show for Be My Cat, So the Be My Cat story is not necessarily an adaptation of that story in that one-man show, but the character in that one-man show that I was playing, which evolved over a period of like 5 years, the character ended up inspiring me to make Be My Cat. And anyway, it's a longer story about this. So it's a complicated answer. I said I would be short, but I still was quite what brought me to filmmaking and acting. Success also depends on the person. I entirely consider you, Adrian, to be success because you produced a very enjoyable product that I adore. Thank you. But you have a different definition of your own success. Yeah, it also depends on that. I don't understand, actually. Sorry. So success also depends. I think I'm too tired. Success also depends on the person. I entirely consider you, Adrian, to be successful. Okay, I got it. Because you produced a very enjoyable product that I adore. But you have a different definition of your own. Okay, I get it now. Oh, yeah. That's so true. Yeah. And a lot of people, I think, probably think the same. They think I'm successful. My definition of success, or no. Okay, I can accept that this can be a level of success. Why? I'm not fully yet satisfied with it, because of the financial part. Unfortunately, we live in this world, and you want some financial security. You don't need to be afraid that you won't be able to pay the rent next month or whatever. So like the full success for me would be doing what I like and being creative, and being creatively successful with what I like, while being paid decently, being paid decently, so that I can have a decent non-fearful life financially wise, So that's something that I'm still seeking to achieve. That's the exact reason I tried to get the word out about me. Okay. Thank you so much. I already said okay. I think I talk about Be My Cat at least once a week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. We want to say we know Adrian when he was first discovered. He was awesome then. He was awesome then, and then I will be so shitty when I become more right. When I become more known. I don't think I will be able. At some point I was afraid, like, oh, what if when I will have more money and blah blah blah, I will. What if money or success will change me? I don't think so. I'm going to tell you why. It's something I talked in another Q&A as well, but I can repeat it on short. Like, I'm a person that is it's super mental. I always challenge myself. I always, even when it's not necessary, I'm always thinking, like, am I doing the right? Even when I do something good, I'm double challenging and double checking myself. Is it really good, or does it also has, or will my action also have some bad consequence for some people in this world? I'm always trying to be very aware of my actions and stuff like that. To a point that I would say maybe it's even, I don't know, maybe it's counter-producing for me. I'm not so sure, but I am like this, I'm very challenging my morals and my ideals and stuff like that, So because of that, I believe that even when I end up being successful and having more money and having a more relaxed artistic life, I think I will still find ways to challenge myself. So yeah, I think I'll still be cool. The only thing that will happen is that probably I won't be able to interact with fans as much as I would like, because reaching bigger success with a studio film, that means also reaching a bigger pool of people that potentially can become your fans, and having many more people, it's harder. It would be probably harder for me to, the way I am right now in the found footage group, I'm trying to reply to every comment and stuff like that. And already, to be honest, it feels like some days it feels like fuck, like I want so much to interact, to reply to everybody, but some days it really feels like fuck, like all I did today was only replying to social media posts. Like, hey, like I need to take care of I have a movie to edit as well, So already it's starting to feel like, hey, like it's taking a bit too much of my time. I need to find ways to balance this. At the same time, replying to people, but maybe being a bit shorter in my replies, or maybe sometimes not replying and just putting a heart or a love or something like that, because otherwise it's taking from my time with editing the film. So it's complicated. So yeah, that's the only thing probably that will change when I become successful. I will not be able to go to every comment, every person and stuff like that. But this is a wonderful way, by the way, doing these types of live things, I think this will still be a wonderful way to keep in touch with everybody. Of course, I won't be able to respond probably to every single question. If there will be like tons of questions flying on my screen, but still I will do my best. Like, that's my promise, I can't promise that I will succeed in being as available as I am now, but I will do my best. I will always find ways to be available to fans, to get in touch with them. I just saw Be My Cat within the last 2 weeks. Had it recommended by an indie producer a while back, and then Karen brought it up Discord, so I seeked it out. Glad I did. Thank you. You see, what I was saying before, how the industry works, kind of people work. They're just like you practically, like, oh, they hear it from a source, maybe they don't give it a watch, or they hear it from 2 or 3 sources, only then they give it a watch or a consideration. Jane, happy birthday for you. I just checked and it's 12. I don't know. Hopefully you are still live. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, a short happy birthday, because look, it's 1:58 here. I don't want to go above 2 hours with this Q&A. It's crazy, because then so hard for people to watch the Q&A later. Whoever wants to rewatch it, when it's like 2-3 hours, people are like, fuck, I'm not going to watch 3 hours. So let's keep it short. The Sohomi Online London Festival this year, past 6 months, did a great job of showing films from indies and getting us to spread the word on social media. Watched so many films with no distributor. Sohomi Online London Festival. Cool, thanks. I'm going to check it out. Although it's online, so it's complicated with online festivals. Long story. That's a great answer. Thank you. I think your biggest fan made you a special birthday tribute. Your biggest. Yeah, Leland. He was promising me for that. I'm so curious what he did. I think it's him, right? Because he said that he was planning to do some crazy video. Before I forget, I'd like to thank you for this. It's been before I forget, I'd like to thank you for this. It's been so interesting hearing you talk and getting a great understanding of your process and what's coming up. Very exciting for your next film. Thank you. One day you will be a guest at a film festival, and they have to host a panel for you. Did I ever have a panel? I've been with Be My Cat. I've been a guest at. I've spoken on the stage at the end of my film in 2 cases: at Fantasporto Film Festival, at Dracula Film Festival in Romania, at a Night of Horror Film Festival in Sydney. But we didn't have a panel. Like, we didn't have that table with press and stuff like that. It was just me on the stage at the end of my screening, getting answers from people in the audiences, which still was super, super cool. I really love it. I love it too much, because I'm keeping it too long. One day you'll be a guest. Okay, thank you. Of course, you're welcome. Karen, I hope we get to be there for that. You definitely created an Adrian fan. I created an... I'm so tired, and you created an Adrian. How did you create an... I think Bry quite liked it also. You actually created 2. I'm happy. That's great. Yeah, this is just a little interim something because I had no idea it was your birthday. This is just a little... just a second. Spectral Violet. I think your biggest fan made you a special birthday tribute. Violet, you are talking about yourself. What? You're not talking about Leland, because I have another. I have more fans that are candidates for the title of biggest fan. I have actually a lot of them that are very good candidates for this title. So he was saying, like, some hours ago, I'm going to do a video. So that's why when you said this, and I didn't read your name, when you said this, I thought it's somebody who knows him, and that's why. We're talking about yourself, Violet. What crazy stuff did you cook for me this time? You can check, by the way. I have I put on the movie's website, BeMyCatMovie.com. I put a page dedicated to fan art. So whatever fan art I'm getting, a new one is on the way, by the way. Actually 2. I need to give to somebody. So good, I remember. Somebody asked for my address, and I need to give them the address. I think they're about to send some crazy fan art. Let's see what it is. So I'm putting all the fan art I'm getting in the either electronic or real one. If it's real, I just take picture of it. If it's electronic, directly, I'm just putting it on that Walk of Fame fan art page on my movie's website, on Be My Cat's website. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen. I will definitely make you an art piece in my spare time. Maybe you like it. You don't have to. I just said it because it was mentioned. I'm not like you have to do anything like that. Just but yeah, if any of you happens to feel like it ends up on the website, Fan Art Walk of Fame on the movie's website. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Well, yeah. I became so relaxed now toward because I'm sleepy. I think my reactions are even more likable right now because I'm sleepier. And when you are sleepy, you are less mental. You are more like more soft and more mushy. Like la, 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 and the reactions become more natural as well. I think I become more like myself. Yeah, the way I am in day-to-day life. Because initially, you try to be more like, this is an event. You need to perform a bit. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be natural, but still, something still tells you that you need to a little bit to be official. But now I'm super relaxed. All officialness went to sleep. Okay, good. Well, if anyone has any final thoughts, by the way, if any of you, I'm not sure. Like, I saw that lately. Thank you so much. If any of you supported me on Patreon, I'm not sure if you did that or not, because I saw just before I went online, I saw like my email was like tick 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 tick, like 5 or 6 more contributions. So if any of you did that, like, that's such a wonderful support. Thank you so much. Because right now I'm not although there is this possibility, there is this a wonderful possibility and opportunity to have a studio project, the thing that I was telling you about. They are not paying me or anything yet, so right now I still people supporting me on Patreon is still essential for me to be able to move forward with my indie projects, but actually, to be honest, even with because right now we are working on developing that studio project. Hopefully I will end up being one of the directors and writers and all these things, and acting and the way it is planned, but so far we are developing it, but they are not paying me anything. So practically we are working on something big, and hopefully it will be as big as we are hoping. But right now it's I don't see anything financially, so that's why I have this this Patreon, although I'm using Patreon in a very weird way. Nobody, I think, uses Patreon this way, because normally people on Patreon, they publish every month, they publish different works, so people donate to different levels for different works. But I cannot publish every month different works. I make a movie once in a couple of years, so that's why I invented this thing on my Patreon account. I give rewards to people not based on their monthly contributions. I give rewards based on their total contributions, so let's say somebody donates $5 a month. After 3 months, they get a thanks credit in my upcoming movie. After, I don't know, a year or 2 years, when more contribution will pile up, they will get a producer credit. It's a weird concept. I'm using Patreon in a very unusual way, but I hope it works. But from now on, I think I will be able to provide something more attractive and video-like and monthly in the form of these types of Q&As. And by the way, I'm so sorry. Like those of you who are not on Patreon, who are not my supporters on Patreon, I think from now on I will only have to do these exclusive Q&As only on Patreon. Because I need to give something exclusive and special to the people that support me financially. So that it I don't know. It just makes sense and fair to do it this way. So I thought for the start now, I sent the private link to everybody, to not everybody, to also to fans. I sent it to very good fans and other top supporters. But from now moving on, I will only share these ones, I think, on Patreon, because in order to also give people an incentive to support me on Patreon, you know. And actually, but by the way, it's if any of you will want to keep getting these exclusive videos, live Q&As, you can support me on Patreon with the minimum amount, which is $1 a month. And that will give you already access to this. So it's not like you need to give 5 or 10 a month or more or 50, like just $1. So I understand $1 can, I don't know, maybe for some people $1 is still a lot. I mean, there are different economical situations in this world, but that's the minimum that Patreon allows. You know, I cannot even put lower than $1. So yeah, that's the thing about me, about this Q&A, about my life. Not so much about my life. I didn't talk about personal stuff, I realized. I will do at some point Q&A, and I will talk about personal life. And you know what? I'm even thinking to do a reverse Q&A. I'm thinking to do a Q&A in which I ask you questions. Like, let's say, who wants to, you say in the chat, hey, ask me a question. I will ask you the question, and then you will reply in writing. I will be the one asking the guests questions. That would be a fun thing I thought of doing. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it this privately on Patreon or publicly. I need to think about, you know, I need to make 2 types of lives from now on. But I'm going to do that. I also want to do a live, and I'm going to talk about some personal stuff as well. You know, like maybe people are curious. I don't know. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite fruit? Stuff like that. Not just about my movies. And I also plan to do maybe a more professional based Q&A, you know, like to go and also to promote that one to people, really people in the industry, you know, people who might want to learn more in-depth professional stuff about how I shot the movie, how I edited, stuff like that. So different types. I think I'm going to do different types of Q&A, different thematics. I think it's going to be fun. both on Patreon, in order to provide an incentive for fans to support me on Patreon. But I will also do some of them publicly, you know, on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. I'm going to do, the public ones are going to be simultaneously published in all 3 places, 1, 2, 3, both Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, so that's it. Let me read if anything came in while I had my last talk here. Your kittens will be there waiting. Get some rest. Adrian, I hope you have a lovely birthday. Keep working at your dreams, your talent that the world needs. I'm very happy that you're able to share it with all of us. Go rest in your amazing filmmaker and friend. We all love you. Thank you so much. I love you too, guys. Like, I'm tired right now. I can't say I love you enthusiastically, but I do. Us fans appreciate you so much. I can't tell you how much fun this has been. Thank you. Cool on using Patreon. Yeah, it's not much. For example, just today I got more donation. I was so happy. I was constantly going to my wife, you know, and telling her, hey, like $1 more, like literally. We have Duru came with this ritual, you know, like whenever I tell her, look, one more contributor on Patreon have, you know, even if it's $1 or $5, she does the thing like, congrats. Yeah, we are happy for every supporter, you know, because it's really valuable. It's really valuable to be supported. It doesn't matter with how much, you know, just somebody thinking to support you this way, you know, somebody understanding and connecting with your need and your struggle, you know, it's something special. It's something magical, you know. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $10 or $100. And there's no $100 monthly donation yet, but who knows? Maybe some Bill Gates will will watch Be My Cat. They will love it and say, let's donate 1,000 a month to Adrian on his Patreon. That was hella fun, Adrian. I enjoyed it so much, waiting for another live already. So cool. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Happy birthday. Thank you. Really enjoyed this 2 hours of QA. Fantastic hearing you real life unfold and the chance of movie making. I say filmmakers are all brave. Kudos. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. Same to you. What am I saying? It's not your birthday. Thanks, Adrian. Enjoy all the best, guys. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I am going. Oh, thank you so much. I'm now $5 Patreon. This Q&A was all I needed to convince me. Thank you so much, Ivan. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Wow, I already reached $200 something dollars, and that's so cool. So cool. I have one more thing to say because you mentioned this. Like, I put this, for example, right? If I reach like $250 a month on Patreon, then I will be able to kind of cover half of my urgent expenses with my film projects. With if I reach $500 a month on Patreon, I will be able to cover all the urgent expenses with my film projects. Not my living expenses. The urgent expenses, film related. The film development. And of course, if I can make more than 500, if I can go to 1,000 or to 2,500, like some creators have on Patreon, that would be like a miracle for me, because then I would be able to work constantly on my films, and even my living expenses would be covered and all that. But I don't think, to be honest, I don't think I will ever reach to have that amount of money on Patreon, because I'm not like a type of creator to create very funny, interesting videos, animations every week. You need to have you need to engage people with super creative, content constantly. And I'm not so sure that just doing these Q&As and stuff like that would be enough to attract more contributors. And I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I will experience a Patreon boom very soon. We will see. Okay. Good night. Kiss you, everybody. Hug you. Love you. Now this was a genuine, from the heart, enthusiastic love you. See you soon. You are wonderful. See you soon, guys. Thank you so much for attending this Q&A. Have a great day, or evening, or night, or anything you have there in your country. Yes, lots of hearts, and cats with heart eyes from me as well. Good night. My present is coming in 5. What does it mean? Spectral violet. Big present. I'm curious. Okay. I'm going to, where are you? On Twitter. I think I'm gonna find it there. Crazy. I have crazy fans. That's so good. They make me crazy gifts. I love creepy, crazy gifts from crazy fans. I'm saying crazy in brackets, like with love, not crazy. Okay, bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.